Following a major increase in COVID-19 cases since the beginning of the country's third wave, the government last night slapped a ban on inter-provincial travel that will come into effect from midnight tonight and will remain in place until the 30th of this month. However, the new restrictions will not affect essential service providers as the government aims to continue some semblance of normalcy and keep the economy running throughout. With that, essential service staff, including those employed in the state sector who are required to report to work during this period, will be expected to furnish an official document from their workplaces to authorities in order to cross provincial borders, the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Services announced. Accordingly, authorities commenced the setting up of checkpoints and barricades at provincial borders across the country from today in preparation. With that, the police department announced a cancellation of all leave for its personnel for the duration of the travel restrictions. The circular issued by the department has also instructed police personnel residing in areas not under isolation to report for duty with immediate effect. Police personnel residing in isolated localities, however, are not expected to report to work until the lifting of isolation in their areas. Meanwhile, police spokesperson DIG Rohana offered an update on police operations yesterday to crack down on quarantine law violations throughout the country.
Yesterday, 548 suspects have been arrested in connection with the offences of face mask, social distancing and other quarantine offences. Total number of 7,864 persons have been arrested in connection with the same offences. In addition to that, another operation has been conducted in Western Province since 4 p.m. to 7 o'clock in the evening. 92 suspects have been arrested in connection with serious violations of quarantine rules and regulations. The maximum passengers are limited to the seating capacity of buses. In addition to that, three-wheeler and taxi drivers should carry only 2 passengers in addition to the driver.
DIG Rohana also warned of stern action against those attempting to circumvent the travel restrictions through the use of byroads and other shortcuts. In the meantime, the suspension of inter-provincial bus services too was announced, leading to a rush by commuters to catch the last buses back to their hometowns before the midnight deadline. Accordingly, the Railway Department also announced a suspension of its inter-provincial train services. However, commuter trains within provincial limits will continue as normal. Meanwhile, the government has also ordered all liquor retail shops to remain open for business until 6 p.m. starting from today. In addition, the Department of Labour announced that the Employees Provident Fund claim section at its head office and divisional offices will be closed tomorrow and the day after. However, the EPF sections at its head office and divisional offices will be open from the 17th of May, but only for general claims by prior appointment only. Meanwhile, head of the National Operations Centre for Prevention of the COVID-19 outbreak, Army Commander General Shavendra Silva announced that the government has not ruled out inter-district travel restrictions if the situation continues to get out of hand. Meanwhile, addressing the media this morning, Cabinet co-spokesperson Udaya Gammanpilla assured the public that the restrictions will not hinder the continuation of essential services.
Statement from the President's office talked about restrictions, so not exactly a ban. Can you just explain to us what these restrictions are and from when this will come into force?
It is in force at the moment and it is in force until 30th of May. The government policy is that movement will be restricted without causing any inconvenience to the essential services. Then export-oriented industries, agriculture, fisheries. So these sectors will be operative, although we have already imposed these restrictions. So we have not discussed and decided in detail how we are going to implement. It's at the experimental stage at the moment. However, in most of the cases, the authorities would consider case by case and decide whether that activity is an essential service or not, rather than making a blanket policy for entire country and entire sectors at once. This is not something new. We did the same in the previous year as well. We had the travel restriction among provinces in last year as well.
In the meantime, Gram and Niladari divisions deemed high-risk areas continued to be isolated today. Just today, 6 Gram and Niladari divisions in 4 districts were placed under isolation. This included the Gram and Niladari divisions of Uyanvatha and Uyanvatha North, falling under the jurisdiction of the Mathura police area. Further, the Gram and Niladari division of Udahapuvida in the Mathale district in the Rattuta police area was also isolated today. Meanwhile, in the Kandy district, the villages of Tibbutta and Kuskastanna that come under the Valgampitiya Grama Niladhari division were placed under isolation as well. In addition, the Grama Niladhari division of Madakiri Matiyana in the Putlam district was also isolated today. Meanwhile, the Grama Niladhari division of Nikadaluputta that come under the Kumbukkate police area in the Kurunagala district was brought out of isolation after authorities deemed the virus risk to have dissipated to acceptable levels.
දසනකාන්තී චූර්ණය සහිත ලීවර් ආයිෂ් දන්තාලේපය දත්වල ඇති ප්‍රශ්න 10ක් වලකයි.